And we're back again. Back doing silly stuff again. Alright. Let's do it. Alright, so literally this entire project for us has been a perfect example of if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. We knew it was bad at the drawbar, but so I took that off. I wasn't 100% sure how the drawbar came together. I just see there's not very much under there either. There's definitely nothing on that side that's spun through. I'm just realizing that I don't know what to do now. We could either cut the whole drawbar off. Almost seems like the only option right now. I don't know. I really don't know. Vlog journal 1.
All right, so about 6 months ago, we thought it would be a really good idea to buy a caravan. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh yeah, we should get one to just like renovate, you know, get one that's not like already done, but like crap, and then renovate it. And Bruno's like, no. We're gonna start from scratch. So we went camping like 6 months ago, and on the way home, we bought back.
Spontaneously, we're like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah. We didn't know anything about caravans. We saw this one on Facebook and we were like, cool, it looks great. It was listed for $2,100 and we got it for $1,800. We saw it and we were like, oh yeah, it's really bad, but we want to do everything to it anyway, so we'll just buy it.
Yeah, we're like, it's a learning curve.
So we bought it. It sat in front of our house in Marrickville. What I thought was going to be 1 month, but it turned out to be 3.5.
And a never-ending adventure of if it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't think it would cost this much. In our minds first, we were like, oh yeah, it's going to cost about $6,000. We probably spent that much already on it.
I can almost squeeze it in with my hand. I don't think I've been so happy about a tiny piece of plastic in my entire life.
There's nothing good about that. I can pull bits of that off. That's just gone. We replaced the axle ourselves. We got new wheels. We scrubbed and cleaned the leaf springs.
Yeah, because we thought that was going to save us a lot of money.
Yeah, well, it saved us about $500.
We ended up replacing the drawbar because it was roll. Shit.
Alright, safety check is complete. We are ready to hit the road. I have my keys this time.
Alright, so I'm following them down so that I can make sure that everything's fine from behind because the coupling is not great. Here we go.
Yeah, we got to that point where we took off the hitch and I just was like, I don't actually think this is salvageable.
No, it was really far gone. We ended up getting down here, so we're in Tanger.
Yeah, but we only just made it. Baby one, barely.
Okay, so here's a story of how we got here. This is how much the caravan was moving in the wind.
So it's a beautiful day. One Friday, after lockdown had locked us in for 2 weeks.
We leave at about 9 o'clock from Sydney. It's a 6-hour drive down to Tanger.
Say goodbye to all our friends at the house, you know.
Yeah, they made us breakfast.
Shout out.
Cute.
Love you guys.
Then we were like, okay, we're running on time. It's going to be good. We'll have one stopover and we'll get there by 6:30.
Yeah, we're like, stop in Milton. Get those nice pies.
Yeah. Just before we hit Milton, it's getting really windy on the road and we're like, oh no. And I'm following Bruno in the car behind, watching the caravan.
We'd stopped at the fabricators.
Yes,
that
so we had got a
morning.
new drawbar and it's good.
Yeah, that was looking great. We spent more money than we probably should have on a bunch of different things.
Yeah, lights. We definitely could have done the lights ourselves. It cost us about $700.
And we had to pull them apart anyway and
undid
cut
all
all the
the
wires.
Oh, so many face palms.
That doesn't matter. Learning curve. And then it's pissing down, like, and really, really strong wind. And I'm thinking, oh, this is not good driving conditions. Because you've seen those horror stories where caravans just, you know, in really strong high winds, just completely, and all the sheeting comes off and the framework comes off, and then it's just this trailer and the cars are getting smashed up by all the debris, and it's paid hitched. Everything seems to be good. The sun's come out.
Yeah.
The wind's died down.
Yeah, and it was really good. So for the first 3 hours we were driving, and it was a little bit windy towards the end, and I was like, there was one road where a big truck came past and the Caravan was like on the back, and I was like, oh my gosh.
We're left Unanderra, we're well on the way.
I'm sweating in the car.
I'm hungry.
I see the Caravan go like this and the wind's going.
Yeah, we go down this huge hill just before Milton, and it's a giant valley.
And I was like, the Caravan's moving a lot, like way too much. I need to call Bruno. I'm calling Bruno. And as I'm calling Bruno, I see the door of the Caravan fly open while we're driving 80 kilometers on the highway. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And
then, we're doing 20 under the speed limit to be safe. And I've heard this huge bang at about the same time Chloe's calling me. And I go, fuck, this can't be good.
So Bruno pulls over, I pull over, and I run up, look inside of the door, and there is a hole in the front, and the wind is like pushing the whole front of the Caravan like this.
So technical rundown. The way that the Caravan's built is that it's got aluminium framing on a plywood deck, which is supposed to be secured to the chassis and the metal framework. However, what's happened is because she's nearly 45 years old or something, the framing is detached at the front end in the wind from the plywood. We later found out not even secured properly to the framework, and the front end of it is getting blown out because the wind's getting under and hitting the sheeting, and the sheeting's just popping out.
The front of the Caravan pulled over and dropped, and that's why the frame of the door came out. And then the front awning for the front windows is flying off. We have to pull it off because it's only hanging on by one nail now. And Bruno's standing literally against the Caravan like this, and I'm freaking out.
It's got to be 90 kilometers an hour gusts of wind.
My whole body is shaking. I'm like, what do we do? Bruno's like, call the police. The officer comes.
Yeah, Officer Doolittle
and
turns up. Whoop, whoop.
He's like, I don't know, there's not much we could do.
I think his literal words were, well, I don't know what I can do.
In our minds, we were like, I don't know, maybe you could slow down the traffic, or
pull us over the side of the road, get us into town, out of the way. So
like,
his bright idea was, well, maybe you should just, pull it to the side of the road and then strap it down and wait for the wind to go and then drive it to your destination. Mind you, he's also pulled up. There's an unregistered Caravan driving out of...
In the middle of lockdown.
In the middle of lockdown, driving out of Sydney.
I mean, it kind of looks like blue tack too.
It feels like blue tack.
But he wouldn't have taken the windows out.
No.
So...
Yeah, maybe.
It must be the old glue.
And he doesn't at all go, oh, wait, hang on a second, your Caravan's unregistered. No, I didn't check any of that.
We
Wasn't
could
at all
have been
interested. He was
from
like,
Queensland.
who knows? He doesn't, anyway.
Good job.
Tea break!
Tea break. Time to weigh some shit with our nice fancy weigh thing. And we're going to make a list to deduct it from what we know is the tear weight currently. So we go and get some truck straps, strap her down.
Luckily, Milton was only 6 minutes away and we had 2 cars.
Yeah. We'd used every other strap that I had to tie everything else down.
And Bruno was like, go and get some straps. And I was like, okay, which ones do I get? I don't know. I came back with the straps and Bruno's like, did you get the bit that tightens it? And I was like, no. What do you think, Bubba?
I don't want to say that. I mean, I guess it was not supposed to be load, but that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I mean, in fairness, I guess it has lasted.
It's from 78, so.
That's from 78, only just.
Yeah.
Literally only
Bruno was
just.
on top of the roof and it was like cracking here.
But look at it, there's no support.
I go back into town, we get a couple of truck straps.
And then when I got back, Bruno was like, oh, the wind looks like it's not going to die down till midnight.
Yeah, check the bomb.
So we stopped at 3:30 and we ended
in the afternoon.
Up sleeping in the back of the car while the wind...
Trying. Bruno didn't sleep. It was so scary. I was lying in the boot and it was like pitch black because there was no street lights on this highway. The whole time and I was like so scared that the sheeting was going to fly off. Yeah, just smashing into the side of the Caravan, smashing into the side of the cars, just like in the middle of this, because we got stuck in the middle of this valley and it's channeling wind down like crazy. Anyway, get to about quarter to midnight.
Because the wind was so strong, Bruno now has no blinkers and no front dash in the car that tows the Caravan.
Something had shorted out in that big explosion of wind. I've got no lights or blinkers for the rest of the trip.
So luckily no one else is on the road because it's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm driving behind Bruno, blinking and merging just before the Caravan comes out so that we're safe. And then on the way down, we're on the phone to each other the whole way because
we had to just keep in communication. Can't get more dramatic than this.
Google Maps decides to take us on a different route to where we've been before. And we go up this residential street and go up this hill, which is like what?
63-degree incline or something. It was stupid. I'm not going to pretend like I've been driving manual my whole life. Chloe's the manual driver and I got my license at 25, so I've been driving automatic since then. Around this corner in second, and all of a sudden hit this hill and go, shit. And drop down first, doing my best, and get about a tenth of the way up the hill and stall. And I'm like, holy crap.
So after stalling 10 times, Bruno's like, I need to go back down. Bruno's like, okay, guide me down the hill.
Mind you, I've never towed a Caravan before, like seriously.
So the Caravan is going back and it's going this way onto the curb. And I'm like, no, Bob, go forwards and then straighten up a little bit and turn it the other way.
Mind you, I absolutely love you, Bub, but your directions were not very clear or very good.
I was very stressed.
And we were both very stressed and tired. And so I decided, you know what? I think I know a way to get to the top of this hill. And it's not going to be pretty.
That's a wrap. Day 3.
Day 3.
I didn't really do that much.
No. But that's okay. We had other stuff on.
Yeah.
And we got to eat really nice salmon.
We did. Look at this. She's fully naked.
She's very naked.
Very naked.
Yeah, now we're just going to do the measuring, drawing, proofing, and then finally removing the skeleton.
Yep. We realised that the windows were just that, so we can literally put windows almost anywhere.
Essentially, we're just going to over-engineer it, make it a lot safer than even the original.
Look how bad this floor is. And Bruno cut their finger on the rusty floor. Daisy's not happy because her ball's up there. And
Always about Daisy.
so Bruno floors it up the hill and I'm like,
I floored up the hill, feathering the clutch, so every time it felt like it was about to drop out, I'd drop out into
really
neutral,
well.
hit the revs up super high, brought it out. I'm burning the clutch
imagine
all the
this
way up this
Caravan
hill.
and Bruno driving and I'm like behind them going, oh my gosh, is it going to make it? We get up there. I'm watching the Caravan because of the wind. We're not sure what was damaged. Make sure nothing comes off the Caravan. So I'm watching it so closely and all of a sudden the Caravan swerves to the left and back to the right. And then I see this bird on the floor and I'm like, was that a bird or a possum or what? Bruno's like, I think it was an owl.
Chilling. They say that the wise bird. And I guess to some degree he really is wise. He knew that I was going to swerve out of his way.
He was like probably this big. Then I see a sign that says, be wary of kangaroos. And I'm like, okay, Bob, just make sure you just watch out for kangaroos.
And we are in Rust Central, derusting phase 1. Scratching off all the rust flaky stuff.
Look at this part. Yeah.
I've done enough driving in my time to know that you worry about kangaroos in dawn and dusk. I've got us all set up, ready to go.
Wow, this looks great now.
We're down here, stripping discs galore. But it's going to be a fun afternoon of dust clouding, in rust dusting. Yay. All right. Bye. They're not usually hanging out at night, you know, in the middle of the road.
And
They were.
we ended up seeing about 20 kangaroos. We stopped for 2, and then this one kangaroo, we slow down. Bruno sees it.
Yeah.
It looks at us, and we're like, cool.
Yeah, so I've dropped down to probably about 20 k's an hour.
And all of a sudden, I see the kangaroo decide to run straight into the side of the car, and then he goes under the wheel and rolls under the Caravan left wheel.
He runs literally into the side of the door.
Then he like hobbled up and then he jumped away, and I was like, oh, okay, he's fine.
I'm still worried about that kangaroo.
We ended up getting here at about 4:30 in the morning.
Exhausted.
So since we've been down in Tangier, we've been working on the Caravan every day.
Nothing compares to having a giant shed. It's the nicest setup for baby one.
We got the punching bag up, but we woke up too late, so no punching session today.
No, because you didn't get up early enough.
I was tired.
I know.
The rats woke me up.
I know.
Staying in a little cabin. It's called the Cubby.
Our friends Marina and Mo are renting it out real cheap to us, so thank you, big shout out. Can't wait to come out of lockdown because we're on our 2-week isolation.
5 days to go.
5 days to go, almost there. Now the Caravan is a sexy looking trailer.
The weighing scales tell us that we originally started with 880 kilos.
Which means that in total, after all of these, 323.7 kilos.
Gone from orange to black to hopefully silver.
But for now, more rust and dust and rust dust.
We'll show you before and after shots for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah. And now we've got to finish our electrical schematics, our plumbing schematics, our gas schematics, and then do a whole bunch of other research. Looking into fancy subfloors for the Caravan, recycled plastics. We've got to think about water tanks now. We've got to do, in a week, we've got to have a really good plan and drawings so that by next week, when we're ready to go, we can just start.
Gone. 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 Good job.
Now let's go get new ones. Hi. Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
But look at that.
That's great. This side's good. Inside. And that's what we're up to. Hey, sexy.
Get your ass in there.
Okay, hold on.